Okay, how many of you guys have had regrets? Or, oh, okay, yeah, well, not so much regrets as just little things that you wish you would have taken advantage of, maybe not hesitated, and then like later on you find out, man, this was such a big deal, and like maybe in high school, you guys might wish you guys would have done things differently, maybe, because I mean, a lot of times you won't even see those people later on, right? And so this is where this quote comes in by Zero Maso, is he who hesitates is poor. And I don't think he meant in the literal sense like, hey, if you hesitate to do something, no one's gonna like you, you're gonna be poor, and you're begging on the streets and all that stuff. It's more of a, I think that he means poor as in you miss opportunities. There are things that you might never experience because you hesitate. And I'm gonna be talking today about 3 different how you can, by hesitating, there's 3 different places where that might affect. One of them might be your romantic life. A second one might be your on an educational level, you might end up poor, or like on a business venture, by hesitating, something bad might happen. So, for example, in your romantic life, you don't want to hesitate about doing things, with your girlfriend. I'm sure they don't want a predictable guy that you always be on the same little routine or whatever. And, you might think, oh, well, I don't want to do this because maybe she won't like me, or, hey, I don't want to do this because other reasons, you want to be yourself, right? And, if you're having some qualms with yourself about, hey, she might not like this, well, just go for it, So you'll just, the worst thing that could happen is that maybe that chick doesn't like you. Hey, well, you know what, you can go somewhere else, right? And that way you won't get poor. See, and poor is in like the sense I made, you don't want to end up with this chick and just not like each other and all that stuff. On an educational level, you don't want to hesitate in pursuing your maybe a course that you might think that might or better, even better, like you don't want to hesitate going to school. Me, for example, I decided, hey, I'll just take some time off, figure out what I want to do and all that stuff. And yeah, I guess I did that, and it was all right. But I mean, really, I'm just back here taking the classes that I should have taken a long time ago, and I would have been already like way ahead. You know what I'm saying? That's the case with a lot of people I know, and yeah. And also on a business level, the most richest people, the richest people in this world are like entrepreneurs, and those guys had an idea that they took like far and beyond and made a whole bunch of money with it, and that was a risk. And if they would have hesitated, they, maybe they wouldn't have been poor, like I said, on the streets and begging, but they wouldn't have maybe made that career choice that launched them into like a big old multi-million, where they're at, what I'm saying? And, so, those 3 examples are something that pretty much I think pertains to everyone, because everyone needs education, everyone, wants a romantic, or maybe not, I mean, look at Morrissey, but I mean, everyone else is, everyone else is pretty chill, and all that goodness, and I hope you guys listen to Maso and, continue, not take, or take risks, and don't hesitate, and have a good life. See you.
Good riddance.
Right, Ivan, you ask a survey question as your attention device. It doesn't quite fit, but you did make a good transition to the topic and had a thesis statement. The preview, the structure's laid out pretty clearly, although you seemed a little hesitant about exactly where you're going with it. I thought the supporting points were pretty solid. All of your examples are kind of hypothetical in nature, which means that they're going to be less interesting. They kind of remained abstract. If you had a personal example, for instance, on that romantic one, instead of just the invented one that you're coming up with it might have worked a little bit better. Your voice, almost always you're projecting really well, except when you're done with an idea, you can tell you're done with an idea because your voice trails off as you're, and enough of that. It's kind of like, that's your transition cue, drop your voice and move to the next thing. And I think that's a little awkward. Your gestures, you do have some gestures. They do seem a little repetitive at times. And it seems like you are kind of doing this thing with your fingers, pounding into your hand several times, and that goes on a little bit. You got your hand on your hip a little awkwardly in a few places, like the I'm a little teapot pose. But your facial expressions, you're pretty involved. Your eye contact with the audience, you do look up, but I don't really get the feeling that you're looking much at us. It's more like you're kind of talking in our direction, and you do want to engage the audience a little bit more. Although I did think that you were pretty responsive to the audience when they laughed at things. You went with it, and you seemed to pause a little bit to let them catch up with what you were saying, and I thought you had a pretty good exit. All right, thank you.